Well, we begin with this breaking news. Gauteng Police have now confirmed that the two men who were earlier taken in for questioning for the attempted murder of a gardener in Johannesburg have now been arrested. Police say they are searching for a firearm allegedly used to shoot a gardener at the Hyde Park home of the son of former Zimbabwean president north of Johannesburg. Two people aged 23 and 33, including the son of the former statesman, have been arrested following the incident. Now, the victim has been taken to hospital and is in a critical condition. Police spokesperson Gauteng Diamakatso Nevhuhulwi says the cartridges have been discovered at the property. All right, we'll get the very latest from our senior reporter, Griselda Lewis, who's been stationed at that home in Hyde Park in a moment. But for now, we've roped in legal analyst Elton Hart to just help us understand the legal recourse in this matter. So, Elton, a very good afternoon to you. You've got two foreign nationals essentially now being arrested. Earlier on, we heard from police that they were taken in for questioning just a few hours following this particular shooting. Just walk us through the legal recourse that will now be taking place.
No, indeed. If one looks at what is now transpired, there was an alleged offense that was committed at that residence. Obviously, the people that was in the premises must be taken in for questioning because they are people of interest. And the police has then a 48-hour period in which they will decide if they're going to charge a person formally and actually bring them before a court of law, or if they're going to release them after they have actually had an opportunity to question them, to actually establish if they could help with the investigation to actually unravel what really transpired where a person was seriously wounded at the premises. So I think we are in that period where the police is still within their 48 hours, where they can decide how they would proceed with the investigation. But for starters, also because we know that this is the sons of former Robert Mugabe who's staying at that premises, one should also just ascertain whether these guys being in South Africa, are they here in the capacity as just visitors visiting South Africa? Are they permanent residents, or are they diplomats or consular officers? Because if they are diplomats or consular officers, then there's a different spin to them being detained by the South African police.
You know, Elton, we are yet to speak to Griselda, but the word on the ground is they have now, in fact, been arrested. So earlier on, as we've indicated, they were taken in for questioning. What we understand now, Griselda Lewis being in Bramley Police Station, is that, in fact, they have been arrested. The dynamics, as you've pointed out, you know, looking at the various scenarios, particularly I want to stay with the possible diplomatic immunities, if there are. In fact, let's hold on that thought, Elton. I'll come back to you. Let's continue then with our interview with Elton Hart, legal analyst. Elton, as you've heard there, confirmation from Griselda Lewis from police that the two are now arrested and will appear in court soon and will, as Griselda has said, now face charges of attempted murder. We were looking at the legal recourse very briefly, just given that this is a very high-profile and high-level case, one of the suspects being the younger son of the former president of Zimbabwe, Robert Mugabe. Just walk us through then, again, the likely next steps and scenarios. As we've heard, no weapon has been found, but cartridges were found at that particular home.
Yes, Unati, if one looks at it now, it's now critical that the police make sure that, because I see there's a lot of movement on the crime scene as is.
Yeah.
And for me, that's problematic already because they can contaminate the crime scene, and certain evidence that would be crucial in the prosecution of whoever committed this offense then becomes an issue. So I would have suggested, because these guys should treat it as a high-profile case and actually not, because you can see there's too many officers moving there. For me, already that speaks to problems. However, although one looks at it now and we now know that they've been arrested, but the moment they put handcuffs on that two fellas that we saw in the videos at the gate, for me, that was detention, because detention speaks to deprivation of your liberty. So the moment they were not free to move wherever they want to, that is already when they were detained with the eye of questioning them. And now they confirm that they are now formally arrested, which means they need to bring them before a court of law within 48 hours, because that's what the Criminal Procedure Act requires of them. And from there onwards, they will have to decide what is the way forward. But what police in their preliminary investigation, before bringing them before a court of law, they need to establish these gentlemen that was arrested. Do they not have diplomatic immunity or consular immunity? Because there is only limited things that you can hold a consular officer responsible for, and a diplomat, as grave as the crime may be, we cannot try them unless their country of origin waives their right to immunity. So, and that is the things that they need to also double check to make sure that the person that we are trying to bring before a court of law do not hold these immunities, because then it will be an exercise in vain. I'm not saying what happened there should be ignored, but that is what the diplomatic immunity technically means in layman's terms.
Yeah, Elton, thank you so much for this. Of course, this is a developing story. I'm sure we will also engage with you a little bit later on. Elton Hart, legal analyst, just helping us unpack the developments of this particular story we are tracing for you.